Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. I'm Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon,
Maximus Shuns,
Ataraxia Kalian,
and Buster Bilgewater.
After discovering certain rooms are actually in the crow's nest, such as the medical facility on the Satyr's Song, we have found our crew with Sandera planning their assault, or rather, planning how to assault Tidewater Rock and the best way to move forward. There was quite a discussion on how to go about this, with a number of letters being thrown out. And what letter we will actually end up with, we'll find out on this week's episode of I Cast Fireball. So, crew, I believe you have settled on plan letter
C?
C.
Like a soft,
exactly.
A soft C.
a soft
C
C before.
That's
I thought it was
right.
a soft 3 before a hard 1.
It was either a C or a 3. Regardless, I think we're going to do some stealth ops.
Hey. So the stealth option is what we are planning to go with. So, just would you? I apologize for this. Would you mind reminding me what all information you know as you are approaching Tidewater Rock? Sandara did give you a decent amount of information, but like stealth, you're going to need to decide on the time, the tides, things like that, right? So is there anything in particular that you don't know or don't recall that we can just clear up right now?
Well, here's what I remember being told by Sandara. So Tidewater Rock, it's this large sort of lighthouse-shaped fortress stronghold. It's one of the only few like established, known places in the Shackles. There's a lot of wild stuff, but this is like one of the landmarks. Many, many times throughout the years, it has exchanged hands, been taken over by various different people.
Agista Smithy owns it now. That's
Yes.
I have notes. I know a thing too.
Yeah, she Agista Smythe, I believe it was.
Lady of the Rock.
Yes.
Lady
widow-
Agista Smythe.
Oh, the widow of Ironbert Smythe, the Lady of the Rock. And they've had it for a while. And now we're going to free them of the burden of owning this place.
Best to approach at night, right? Best to approach at night when the sea looks like just a black void, I think.
and we're approaching through the Silvery Barb, not the Satyr's Song.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't left yet though, have we?
No. This is the plan you were going to go forward with, and here we are now finally discussing and executing the plan.
Okay, I don't need to take half of a plunder with me this time.
No, probably. I mean, unless you're giving it or planning to bribe them.
Is
so.
this a new day? Have I recouped my divination?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a new day. You guys will have all had time to rest before infiltrating by night or early morning in the dark.
Okay.
Okay. So I think what I was leaning towards is we let them see the Satyr's Song, know that the Satyr's Song is out there, but to use that as a distraction so they won't be looking for the Silvery Barb? Or would it be better to just not even let them know that there's another ship out there?
Well, it feels like if they know, then they'll be on
Yeah.
higher alert. Don't you
That's
think?
a good point.
Because then they would start looking for, because a big ship will have a longboat that needs to come ashore, so they would start looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we might need to keep it moored far enough offshore that nobody can see it, or sail around the island and find a inlet or something to try and hide it in.
Yeah, we're just information gathering right now, right? That's our goal.
Yeah.
So caution is at the extreme.
So we're definitely going to want to put the Silvery Barb in chalupa mode so it's not as obtrusive.
Yeah. I also don't think we can operate it, just the four of us, in any other mode.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. It's quite big in Baja Blast mode.
But the Satyr's Song, like maybe like even I would almost say like maybe like half a day away. Like we need to be, or you know what I mean? Like several hours, right? Like away, so that like even if they've got like patrols that go out, they're not going to run into our ship.
Yeah. Can we find something like that on a map for that Buster could find a good inlet that's a couple hours
Would that be
away?
a roll for it?
Sure. That would be a good old navigator.
Okay, here we
sailor's
go.
roll. Yes.
That is a 24.
Galarian map interactive. First thing that pulled up, goat's head. All right.
Nice.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Tidewater Rock is just, being that the Shackles is just a large archipelago, right? And there are numerous islands about here. Tidewater Rock is just one structure amongst many islands. So as you see Tidewater Rock or know on your map, you know that there are a couple islands further east of where Tidewater Rock is actually located that you could moor your ship, you could park your ship, anchor, and then you could take the silvery barbs closer to Tidewater Rock. As you can see, it is part of like a cove, and so if you're being extra cautious, yes, you can go an island or two over, which would just be a couple hours, but you might be able to get close just with your, depending on how much you want to push it, how much you want to risk, that they don't have guards amongst the islands with some sort of communication relay communication setup.
Okay. How would we figure that out?
You would have to go and investigate.
Okay. So yeah, I think we go a decent distance out from Tidewater Rock. Because I just think we're going to learn a lot by going in with the chalupa, but the silvery barbs. But yeah, I think that's my gut. I'm open. You know, hey, Buster here. Like I'm okay with whatever you guys want to do. I mean, like my suggestion would be that we plan at least half a day's journey there and back.
The only downside to half a day's journey is that we have to row ourselves a half a day's journey in, which means we have to start at a certain time so that by the time we're getting to Tidewater Rock, it's dark enough and all of that. I wonder if that might be too far, because then there's no chance for retreat either.
Yeah, we forgot to add that bit about the motor when we were describing what the silver.
I mean,
I said it could fly.
I technically
Missed
said
that
I could.
opportunity.
Description is
I said it
locked
could
in
fly.
place, okay?
I did say that.
I mean,
Locked
if we
in place.
have a sail, I could gust of wind us to help take some of the load off.
We could rig up a sail.
But I mean, like, look, like we could make a day of it. Like we could have a picnic somewhere. I mean, let's like
Yeah. We can have a bonding. It'll be a company retreat.
thing. We could make a day of it.
like we could hold up somewhere closer, like with the silvery barbs, and like pause before like really diving in. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to like go hard, infiltrate, leave, and then go hard back. Like we can have kind of maybe even scout out some good places to hide if we are in a pinch.
Yeah. Some days to plan.
Sure.
See if there's any tropical fruit on the island. We can bring some of the rum with us and whip up some
There we
Mai
go.
Tais.
You know, but I think going in with the plan of like we're not here to attack it. We're even less likely probably to incur being attacked if they discover us, if we're not with a big ship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if they capture us, we would get to go in and learn some things before trying to have to escape. But
Before we die.
yeah,
I do have that bird feather token.
The rock?
In break class in case
No,
of emergency.
I have the bird feather token, and I've been told never to use it unless in the most stringent of circumstances.
I'm saying to get. I was just worried about us getting stranded on the rock. But
Well, we're not going to get stranded on the rock because we have the rock to get us off the rock.
can get us off the rock if we need to. But that's my gut. My gut is we go in. We go in decent distance, and we scout around the island first, looking for locations about it, and before we try and actually, and maybe even get a chance to rest before we,
love it. I'm here for it. Support it.
I mean, what do you think, oh great hunter? Buster would say. You've probably got more experience like tracking and whatnot.
I would say taking a stealthy approach is all right, but the more time you waste observing, the more chance you are at being spotted and losing the advantage and being put then at a disadvantage. So whatever we do, it must be done, I don't think, with any lackadaisical attitudes.
Nah, we shouldn't approach this casually.
Precisely.
Okay.
As you
Wait, before we leave, as we're all getting ready to leave, the crew's getting ready to say goodbye, Buster's just going to real quick go to check on the goats. And Thomas, once I'm with the goats and I know that the captain and everybody are like preparing to leave the Silvery Barbs, I would like to vortex warp into the captain's quarters. Just really quickly. And that's one of my spell slots. And then I would like to cast Locate Object. See if I can find the heart. Which is another spell slot.
Yep.
And do I have any luck?
Well, I think we specifically said that.
It's in the lead-lined hidden compartment.
Now that was for detect magic.
It's
or is
locate
that also
object,
Locate
locate
object.
object.
I'm reading it here. Yeah.
It would be the same thing. Any kind of seeing magical. It would be blind. You'd be blind.
Right. Lead can block. It's very Superman-like. Lead blocks any of their power, the magical power, right? So, yeah, you cannot. If any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path between you and the object. So, no dice. You do not feel the heart in the captain's quarters.
Okay. I look around a little bit. Could I do just how much time would I have to waste in order to pull an investigation check?
That's a lot, because you feel like it would be.
They would feel my absence at that point.
And you would know that they wouldn't just leave it on a table. You would have to really think outside of the box to find some places there.
Ned, have you actually thought about exactly where it is? And if I just made a random guess, you would be able to tell me if I pulled it?
Yeah.
Do I know where he keeps his mom's notes?
That's a good question.
Because we have gotten our equipment together.
I think
before.
last time, that's true, but I think last time we talked, Ned established that only Rickety Hake showed Ataraxia these newly
I know that.
secret compartments. Yeah, so
we talked about putting all of our stuff into the captain's quarters before the squibbing had happened. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I mean, he's not very shy about, whenever he goes to check him out, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going over to read some stuff my mom gave me.
I think just because of the kind of impulsiveness of this moment, Buster would just rummage through Ataraxia's general things and kind of press and look for some kind of hidden lever or something, but not I don't think he would waste a ton of time, but more frantically just kind of quick checking and then getting upset that he's not finding it.
Yeah, and I think he would find some of that information, Ned. Would you agree? And what would just be some like general stuff he would see as he would be looking through some of this information or some of these items?
Yeah, you would find a bunch of scrolls, a bunch of scrolls. Like, why does this kid have so many scrolls? You would also find a magnifying glass, some common clothes, a diplomat's pack.
A diplomat's pack? Like an official diplomat? Like what a, like...
The starting gear?
Yeah, it's...
a diplomat's
Instead
pack.
of choosing like an adventurer's pack, I chose a diplomat's pack.
Okay. Yeah, Buster's just like, when does he have time to read all of this? Okay. All right, I'm not finding it. I don't think there's any way I can put it back exactly as it was left, but I'll just try. And then I'm just gonna... I don't want to waste another spell slot. I'm so frustrated. I couldn't... He's so frustrated he couldn't find it. Can I roll a stealth to try and exit from the captain's quarters without anybody realizing that I'm not coming back from the goats?
I'd say so. I mean, there's a lot of hustle and bustle, so it's possible, like maybe a loud noise. I will say it's going to be with disadvantage, though, because you don't know what's on the other side, right? I would say that the windows would be tinted enough to where you can't see what's happening, and you don't know who's in the crow's nest, right? Like that's always kind of like, I feel like always the big danger of trying to stealth into a room you know nothing about and have no visual on. So
I'll do it with disadvantage. If I get caught, I get caught. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. And we'll take everybody's passive insight perception because they're all super high, right?
Mine's 18.
Yeah, mine's 18.
Mine's only 14.
I rolled a 2 plus 2.
Nice.
I opened the door and there's Ataraxia.
There's all
What?
three of them waiting for you.
What? The goats aren't. Why aren't the goats back? We weren't keeping the goats in the. All right. I'm sorry. I was looking for the heart. Sorry, guys. I can't help it. I want it, and it's impulsive. I apologize.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Ignis is a little surprised that he would just offer up that information.
I mean,
And Sandara passes right by you, Ignis, and be like, "Well, if you don't remember, he do be cursed.
I do be
all
cursed,
And
yes.
I haven't been able to get that spell up. And why am I talking to you?
Why are you talking to me? You couldn't read my thoughts. Why are you talking to me?
She just walks away.
I was hoping none of you would notice, but now that we're here, caught me with my my hand in the cookie jar. So, I didn't find it though. Good job, Captain. You have hidden it very well.
Yeah, I did. I did a really good job.
Let's get going.
Yes. Now,
Wide berth. Mac gives Max a wide berth.
Oh, while he walks away, Max psionically in his mind
Oh
will just say, limb from limb.
So yeah, Buster doesn't say anything, but you probably see his ears go way down. Flat. Absolutely flat.
As Buster's walking away, Ignis will lean over to the captain. He was going through your stuff. Do you need him to be punished for this?
tricks are for kids, man. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Oh!
Aren't we about to pull said trick on Tidewater Rock?
I am a kid,
It's true.
Hey.
It's true.
in more ways than one.
Whoa.
Oh
There
gosh,
we go.
Okay.
Ignis is surrounded by idiots.
true story.
All right. Apologies for the diversion. Because I'm cursed, I felt like I needed to give it an honest Buster try.
That's fair.
Yeah, I will, in a more sincere response to the lieutenant, I'll say, you have a stronger sense of justice than I do. I don't feel like it's an issue, but if you feel like it's an issue, then you may take it into your own hands.
I'm just worried that if he goes unpunished, that it could set a bad precedent for the rest of the crew. But he's under your command.
Yeah, and I will cede a certain degree of that command to you in this particular instance.
Ignis will think about it for a moment and weigh it against the situation that we're in and recognize that punishing somebody on the cusp of going into a mission where we all need to be working together probably is not the best for group unity. So she lets it go.
So post punishing, once we're back.
Possibly.
As the four of you get ready to embark on the Silvery Barb, Max, you have Barrett run up to you. This is one of the crew members, yes, who are assisting you with the ballista and saying, sir, just as you're heading out, anything in particular you wanted us to keep an eye out for, work on while you're gone? As you've discussed with us, the ballistas are heavily are very under maintenance for a ship of this size. Anything that we can do while you're gone.
I mean, if you can make them better, go for it. Yeah.
Hey, tips, tricks. I just got out of servitude myself. So anything you could lead us with or guide us in this area?
Just, more boom for your buck. That's
Boom for your buck. Got it.
That's what.
Got it.
That's
Here
what
we go.
we're shooting
Yeah,
for.
we'll do that.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, fire. Fire's always a good option.
Fire. And he touches his nose and he goes, I see what you're putting down. All right, fire. Here we go. All right.
Am I?
Thanks.
Oh, okay.
And runs back.
He's gonna start lighting the ship on fire.
And the silvery barbs is off.
What form are we taking?
Yeah, that was just about to ask. What form is the silvery barbs taking here? We'll start with Ned.
It has a motor on it now.
No.
We're starting the whole
I think
thing
he's
over.
asking which of the 4 like flavors are we currently in the.
No, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure he was asking about a totally new boat.
Oh, really? Do we get to redesign it every time?
I'm pretty sure I hadn't stopped talking. And
Let's all decide what Thomas was intent was before he responds.
We're silly tonight.
yes, we are silly tonight.
Yeah, I know. I think unless anybody else is having any particularly strong emotions, like Ataraxia's default is the same default that it always is. So, like, if it's just him on the ship, then it's going to be his face. But if anybody else is feeling anything particularly strongly, then that's probably going to take precedence.
Cool. That's fair. Who feels I'd say probably Buster who'd feel the strongest emotion on this ship here right
He's
now.
probably the most. I do think he's the most lay low of everybody. I don't think he's the most stealthy, but I think personality-wise, he's the
Yeah.
least likely to want to do an all-out assault.
Yeah. And just being caught and just kind of riding the ship in with like, okay, these 3 people, we just had the conversation and I just got caught and like super awkward. Like, so maybe there's like tiny like prickly thorns in everybody's seat that kind of like just make it like really annoying and like
Itchy
We're
chairs.
on the edge of our seats because they're prickly.
Ow.
No, the whole boat looks like a heart. It says the.
He made it Meredith. He wanted it so
happening?
much.
Yeah. Any other flavoring that you guys wanted to add to the boat to describe the current mood, the current setup of the crew as you go into the stealth mission with the sun setting and the RGB light strips glowing around each of your seats?
Oh, we should probably turn those off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we're
was
too
gonna
much.
say.
We really want to illuminate ourselves as we're on our way.
Yeah, and that the star stuff that's usually behind it is non-existent or is the same blue as the water.
Ooh,
because
I
leaving
like-
a trail also doesn't seem like a good idea.
I mean, my understanding was we don't make waves. Like, I think the first thing Ned
Yeah, we
said
don't.
was it.
It's true.
Yep.
No waves.
Yep, doesn't displace water.
There you go.
Trying to remember, I do not have dark vision. Who all here has dark vision again?
I think only me.
Yeah.
All right, so Lieutenant, you're taking the lead as far as spotting stuff for us.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
This might be like the first campaign I've been in.
Where everybody isn't night vision.
Well, this might be the first campaign I've been in where I should actually look into learning dark vision.
Yeah, all right. Like going out of your way to find some means. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As you are coming up to Tidewater Rock, the western part of the isle here, I need everybody to roll a d6, please.
Here we go.
See what kind of conditions you find yourself in, favorably or unfavorably.
I got a 6.
I got a 5.
2.
4.
4, you find yourself in a favorable position as you non-displace this. You're all walking on water.
It's a
you're all in
Flintstone
this
boat.
pontoon, which is basically, yeah, like just your feet. As you are coming up to Tidewater Rock here, I'll describe some of what you do see before the sun sets, because you approach the isle before nightfall for sure, so you can start picking up some of this information here. This is Windward Isle that Tidewater Rock is on, right? So this is the actual island name. It's roughly, and you'd know this from your maps, it's 2 miles long and 1 mile wide. So the direction you're going, east to west, it is going to be the 2 miles, right, from one end to the other. And it's a lot of what you see around the isle is it's surrounded by rough shingle or like gravel beaches. So it's not like the beautiful tourist spots that you're going to find on some islands, but still manageable to get. It's not just sheer cliffs, right? You can actually get onto the island in a variety of spots, just be painful and maybe damaging to your boat. Yeah, and so the elevation of the isle never goes above 100 feet. So it's not like this gigantic mountain, fairly, I guess you could call it an average island there. But a lot of different places where you could turn in and go in on foot if you could find a path leading to Tidewater Rock specifically. But yeah, as you start getting closer to Tidewater Rock specifically, there is a small hutch. What's a small hutch? What is that?
Like a cabinet? A wardrobe?
It just says a small hutch inland from the anchorage. All terminology. Hold on. What is an anchorage? An area that is suitable for a ship to anchor. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay. So as you approach the actual cove or entrance into Tidewater Rock, it is this sort of protected part of the isle that is southwest that can protect from it, like heavy winds, heavy storms, and it's almost like it's been cut by you'd think by like a gigantic sword, because the isle just sort of like is beaches, then a direct cut inland here that goes further into this anchorage area that the water feels to be fairly deep, that you could go further into with the silvery barbs, and you see Tidewater Rock itself, the 70-foot tall stone fortified tower house that is very reminiscent of a lighthouse, but as it stands tall and majestic as a beacon to this part of the isle. You see it in the distance, but I want to give you the opportunity on how you approach, especially with Ignis being the only one with dark vision.
It's a good thing she has good investigation. We need to find a spot to rest.
To rest?
What do you mean you spot to rest?
Well, wasn't the idea that we would be kind of exhausted if we paddled the whole way? And
that wasn't my understanding. My understanding is that you guys left and
I just wanted to reach Tidewater Rock under the cover of night.
Oh, okay.
That way we could just
Can we?
go right up.
Ignis, are you able to spot any locations where if we are running from pursuers, we could perhaps hide?
That's a good question.
Things go
DM.
bad.
Hearing his question, what Ignis really is looking for is, because we're looking straight up at this structure, to Ignis, it feels like going directly at it is probably not the best idea, versus coming around, finding another place to moor, and then coming in via land. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's lighthouse-esque, they're probably watching the water, versus the land might be a more easier place to penetrate their defenses.
So having given sort of the lay of the land with your professional opinion, Ignis, with your dark vision, again, dark vision won't let you see miles and miles far away, so what you actually see from this distance isn't too far off from what the rest of the crew can see, but you do see a light in Tidewater Rock, not as bright and shining outward to essentially like a lighthouse, but it is a steady light with roaring fires to essentially light the walls and allow for warmth from the cold ocean breeze blowing into Tidewater Rock. So you can see this outline with some figures walking amongst the walls that you can see, but you do see one large ship in this anchorage area. It seems pretty well nested in there, though. Most likely the lady of Tidewater Rock's ship herself.
So Ignis will relay all of that, especially if the actual structure is hard to see through the dim, if you can only see the light. She'll describe all of those things, including pointing out the ship that is moored. I think the best tactical thing for us to do if we're trying to be a little sneaky is to find a place here on the shoreline and sneak up through. Is it jungle on this island? Is it trees? Is it desolate?
Are we rock climbing, or what's the...
Yeah, I would like to find a place where hopefully we're not rock climbing, because that seems a little exposed. I would like to find some beach up into a tree line if it's jungle, and then we can go in through the jungle.
So yeah, Buster, actually, you, before it got dark, you were able to kind of like follow the coastline and see as things got dark. It wasn't immense jungle. In fact, you could tell that, but it wasn't barren. There was some opportunity for land actually to be cultivated, and you're like, oh, that's kind of like, this would actually be an island where you could possibly plant, and you could farm, and you could have some return on the land if you needed to or wanted to in that way. So it wasn't just...
And nobody's doing that currently.
Well, before it got dark, you were on the east side of the isle, and you weren't quite to Tidewater Rock. Maybe on this side closer to the fortress, maybe they are. But it just got too dark for you to recognize.
The biome, the nature of the place. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, the general makeup. And although there are some high rock climbing areas you could do, the beach itself does slope, but within this particular area, in regards to like leading up to Tidewater Rock, in this anchorage area where the bay is, all of the beach and sand do lead up to these stone steps that go up to Tidewater Rock. There's not like multiple places where you could get into the land from this anchorage. It all is like led towards the fortress. So I guess that is a fair question, Mickey, for you to ask of that.
On our Tidewater Rock, so our ship is over here somewhere, right? Off the map.
Yes.
I feel like, because if we can come in from the backside of Tidewater, or...
Yeah, I think certainly not coming in from the open ocean is our best bet. Yeah, I do like the idea of skirting in between Tidewater Rock and the island just to the right of it, and trying to find a more... Like, obviously we're not going to find... If that is the anchorage, then that's going to be the easiest way to get onto the island, but we're not necessarily here for ease. We're here for stealth.
Well, and like ideally, I mean, you gotta assume that if there's an easy way onto the island, the inhabitants of Tidewater Rock are very aware of it, and there's gotta be like scouts or traps or something. So
then would it be better to find maybe something to rock climb up where they're not expecting you to come up and over the side?
I'm kind of inclined to rock climb.
Let's do it.
I think, rock climbing at a location that isn't like directly getting us to Tidewater Rock, but rock climbing an area so that we can kind of come in from the backside, more or less.
The only thing I'm worried about is because it's not dense jungle, is that it feels like there's a lot of
could be farmland
space here to be seen, right?
Yeah,
from a distance. But I don't know that there's any other. I feel like this is probably the best way. I just wanted to bring up that there could be that possibility, yeah.
It's your choice, Captain.
I have invisibility.
Ooh.
So here's kind of what I'm thinking. If we're worried about being seen, I've got invisibility. I can get two people invisible at the same time. When I look at sort of our surroundings here, Max, you're pretty big. Lieutenant, you're pretty big. I'm pretty small. Buster, you've got fairly earth-toned fur. So I think we turn Lieutenant and Max invisible, and then the two of us just try and be as sneaky as we possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, I could cast a fog cloud too.
Ooh.
Obscure. It's 20 feet.
Dude,
it's a 20 feet circle.
And I'm trying to remember, you can move the fog cloud with you?
Let me double check.
Is that not suspicious, though? To have a 20-foot fog cloud just walking the island?
There's a fog cloud coming in.
No, a basic wind will disperse it. A 10-mile
hour
wind will just disperse them.
So if you do blow on it, more cover.
It's not a magical fog that will follow us. It's like once I cast it, it's in that location.
Yeah. I think we're going to want to find somewhere that has like some cracks and crevices that we can kind of get down into, try and remain in shadow as much as possible.
So wait, is our goal, we're climbing up this to just survey more of the fortress?
I thought we were like, I was kind of thinking that we'd get into the fortress or try to get into the fortress, right?
So we're trying. What is our goal though? What are we doing?
As I understand it, we want to ascertain what kind of force they have, if there are any weak points, what kind of like surveillance and military capabilities that they have. We have no knowledge about anything that they're capable of doing. And that's just, if we want to infiltrate them or defeat them, we need to gather intel. Like, that's the game first is information.
Guys.
Yes.
Lieutenant, Max,
Yes.
how long can each of you fly for?
Oh, yeah.
A minute.
1 minute.
Oh, no. Buster got really excited and is now not enjoying this idea. Do we know that Max can fly?
Yeah, I flew away from you guys to the ship.
Okay, Captain, what's your idea?
I make you invisible and you fly in there when nobody can see you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't hate that. I also don't mind. I kind of like the fog cloud, especially using that. If we do it right at the bottom of the fjord, like that could be a fog coming in off of the ocean and the most direct path.
Obscure
right?
their view. Yeah.
Yeah, around Tidewater as we're coming up to it.
That's a great idea. At higher levels, it ups the range too, or the feet. So, like at second level, it's a 40-foot sphere of fog, and
Tidewater's 70 feet. It says.
Well, and I can cast it at third level, at which point it would be a 60-foot. I mean, that's not my range. My range is 120 feet. The size of the fog cloud, I'm saying, is like I can make it a 60-foot sphere of fog.
Ooh, right around the top where the guards would be.
Yeah, but I can have it instance at anywhere within 120 feet.
Yeah.
The invisible flyers is ingenious. I was worried, Captain. I was worried you were going to say that they were going to fly you and me up to get in. I like this plan.
I don't hate that either.
I like this plan better.
We'll drop you from the sky onto them, unsuspecting.
Yeah, no, I want Ignis carrying me. If one of them is carrying me.
Good call. That's
You
a
just
really
hear
good call. That's a
this.
good
Just
In
hear
fact-
Freebird start playing in the
fact,
background as they just drop
If
you
there's
from the sky.
if there's one of Ignis's like summoning things that in that version of reality likes me, let's do that one.
One where he didn't have Meredith and they still have trust.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't hate this plan. However, this is going to be a party splitting thing. Mm-hmm. Are we okay with a party splitting thing?
I'm okay with it.
I think it's
We'll just
exciting.
do like an Ignis and Max infiltration.
Before you go, let's create some objectives. Ignis, you have better eyesight in this time of night than Max, so probably need you focusing on seeing things not illuminated. And then Max, I don't know, you know ballistic force. Maybe you focus on trying to get a sense of their captain to say that, you know what I mean? Like, I think we should create a checklist of things we want to know.
How long does invisibility last?
An hour.
Ooh, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time to do some sneaking.
Schnickish.
or until you attack or cast a spell.
Yeah, that's a lot of time
Yes.
for sneaking.
Real quick. Oh, no, it's only 30 feet. Shoot. I wanted to do detect magic, but it's because the other problem is that I don't know if the one issue would be if there are any kind of magical wards that would like pop your guys' invisibility as soon as you cross the barrier or something.
I doubt it, unless the DM just got that idea.
It's been known to happen.
It's been known to happen, but this is a official location in Skulls and Shackles, so I will most likely be pulling directly from the book.
Most likely.
I say let's pull the, we're losing moonlight. When do you guys want me to cast the fog cloud on the ascent or after you guys have ascended and give you like some time to like?
If fog suddenly appears, that might tip these guys off that something's up.
I mean, I can have the fog follow the wind. I can have it appear a few
Yeah, I was going to
feet.
say maybe cast it like twice, so it feels
Well-
like it's...
Well, I can let the wind take it. I have 120 feet, so I can cast it like in front of where it would hit them, and then it just rolls into them, wherever the wind is blowing.
Are we happy with coming in then at the bottom of this fjord on the south side of Tidewater Rock?
Yeah, I think that's a good
'Cause
idea.
that'll be our quickest shot, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot
'Cause
of
we want
fly
to-
time.
'Cause we only
Yeah,
have,
we want to
we
let you
only have
guys
a minute.
maximize how long you can fly for.
Yep.
Maximize.
And I think just for definition wise, I'm pretty sure this would be defined as a bay or a cove. I
Okay,
believe.
a cove.
Okay. So yeah, I think we climb on a little bit further away and then try and skirt our way in. So like we don't want the silvery barb to be right there within visibility of those guards, but park it somewhere like just out of visibility and then start our ingress.
Well, it folds up. It'll just be in our pockets, right? So if we come
Oh,
in...
that's right. Crunch wrap.
Yep.
The foldable boat.
If we just come in on the south side of Tidewater Rock, scale the cliffside there,
And then we'll
and
chill.
then just over the top, yeah, and then we'll make our way up.
Let's do it.
Captain. What are your
Yes.
objectives that you'd like for? We were making this plan as we were going in the water, right? This is our whole day. Is
We
like
waited till we
planning
got
as
here
we're-
to talk about it.
We were completely silent for like 3 hours while we
several
were
hours.
rowing
It
over
was very
here.
awkward.
It was a very awkward boat ride for sure.
So what I think would be interesting, we want to know for sure where Lady Agustus Smythe is located within that location. We'll want to get a sense of what their fortifications are like. There's part of me that's thinking, like, if you have a chance to kill the Lady of the Rock while you're in there and just leave a message for them, that could be very much to our benefit.
Instability, yeah, it doesn't hurt. Mm-hmm. Troop numbers. I want to know troop numbers. I want to know, like, how, or if we could hurt their supply, like their ability to fortify.
Our main goal is to overtake Tidewater Rock and announce ourselves to the Shackles, right? That's our main goal. So if we just kill her under the cover of night, there's no sport in that, and no one knows that it was us.
Unless
You leave a goat head.
do we have any goat horns with us by any chance?
Max?
I left my big goat head on the ship, and
My
we can
goat
go
head's with
back
my
and
other
kill
shirt.
Buster's goats. We can do that.
Ignis votes for that plan.
Because, like, if we can kill the Lady of the Island, plant a goat's horn, like, right into her chest or something as a sign.
I like where this is going.
Could I take a pause? Real quick.
Go for it.
You need to go to the bathroom? What's going on?
I mean that too, but, we'll wait. Captain, I'm okay if this is the direction you want to go in. I just want to make sure I understand. You are okay, flat out, killing another free captain.
That's what pirates do, right?
I mean,
Buster nods his head.
it depends on the kind of pirate. There's some that attack solely government vessels, like we did with the snobby people.
The Chilaxians?
The Chilaxians, yeah.
There's some who just go all out and attack anybody and everybody they want to. From this point, we have actually been allies to every free captain we've encountered. This changes things. If we go ahead
except for
and
Plug.
kill. Which one?
Well,
Except for Plug.
was he a
the guy we
captain or was he
mutinied.
kind of a subservient captain? You know?
He was definitely a captain. He was
Yeah.
a full-fledged captain.
It's like
of the
more
boat
of like
that we took
a
over.
sub captain, I think.
I have an honest question.
When he worked with Harrigan.
I have an honest question of is it better just to kill her, or would that just cause retaliation from the soldiers and therefore we'll never get them, like, or would it be better to kidnap her? Would it be better to
Kidnap her.
Like, I don't know that we have the resources to kidnap her, but I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, is there something else we need to do that we can overtake Tidewater and make it ours? Do we need to kill her? Do we just take her hostage so that her people stand down? Do we need to kill everybody in Tidewater? Like, we bring our whole crew and just do like a massacre?
I don't
so
like that
we
idea.
overtake it. That's why I'm asking, not as players. How do we want to take Tidewater Rock in a way that we take over?
Is there a code? Is there a pirate's code?
Depends on the pirate captain.
Would
Done a lot of
Buster,
research into
would
it.
Buster be
Depends on the
aware?
captain.
He's
Buster's
done a ton of research.
Buster's
in this
been with
area.
pirates for a decent period of time. Is there like a general, like, when you defeat a pirate, you like let the captain live, or like what's the
So in my research of actual captains, it really just did depend on the captain. What seems to be universal is that there is a code.
Yes.
That every captain had a code that they then therefore lived by. So it's just up to the captain, but then everybody on their crew and everybody then who knew of that captainship knew what their code was.
Yeah.
And Buster, you would have seen that as well. A lot of different flavors. A lot of different flavors of code. Some captains were not as powerful to be able to throw their weight around, so
more
they had to
guidelines.
cower.
Then
Yeah, right. They're more guidelines, and they had to cower and fear in some instances, even though they wanted to stand up and fight. But they're like, but I don't want to get my guys killed.
Right.
Therefore, and even though I don't believe in this, I believe in
This
keeping
would be
my
an
guys
instant. The way
alive.
that we take Tidewater Rock would then inform other captains about what kind of crew we are.
I do feel like we're splitting hairs. We don't know anything yet. Like I feel like we're talking about how to slice a steak before we even know if it's a steak or not. Maybe it's
I'm
ham.
just saying, Buster, if we're going in there and our orders are to kill her, then we kind of do know what we're doing.
I mean, the orders were like maybe killer. I don't know. Use your judgment.
So let's talk about branding.
Yeah, because you're really good at using your judgment.
I didn't say use my judgment. Let's go.
So, if we go in there, like we came to Tidewater Rock to take over the place. There seems like a very, 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 very slim chance that if we take over this place from this person, that the people on the other side are going to be happy about us doing it. So, the chances of like allying ourselves with these people, though we have been friends to as many free captains as possible in the past, like if we are taking Tidewater Rock, I think that's a pretty definitive sign that we're shifting somewhat in terms of like the reputation we want to start building. There maybe is a possibility that like we kill the captain, get out of there, and then tomorrow morning we come sailing in like, hey, we'd like to make an alliance with your captain. What's that? She's dead? Oh, shoot. Well, that sucks.
That's the coward's way out. If you're going to kill
I
somebody, you better make sure
disagree.
that everyone knows it.
It's not cowardly to be tactical.
Well, and to support what Ataraxia is saying as well, there was just not as much information known about the type of captain that Lady Smythe is, and if she had alliance to Harrigan or not. I believe that was a question you all asked, is like, how is she, Harrigan's our barometer, right? How is she friendly? What does she feel about it? And Sandara was like, I haven't interacted with her. I'm not sure. So you don't know one way or the other until you can get more information.
Well, if the point is to take Tidewater Rock, we have to show that we're stronger and that we deserve to have it.
Look, I think the best case scenario, always around it, is the Lady of Tidewater Rock surrendering leadership of this whole place to us. I think that's the best case scenario. I think a full acknowledgement of our authority and ability to take over this place from the person who no one has defeated is ideal. Assassinating her, I think, would ruin the chances of that, but it would destabilize them, or, like Max mentioned, it could rally them to be even more vicious in defending themselves. So an assassination is a huge risk with possible rewards or possible, pitfalls. But I think a surrender is the best case scenario.
And this conversation is all in preps of you splitting parties to go do your investigation separately, correct?
I think this was a discussion we had while we were rowing across
Yes.
the water.
Of course. Yes.
We're not burning moonlight. This is
Yeah, there we
daytime
go.
conversation.
Of course.
So if we want to get her to surrender to us, I mean, we talked about the possibility of stealing her away in the middle of the night.
So you want to find out where she is, what the fortifications and troop numbers are, and why she hasn't been defeated. Maybe there's magic, maybe there's people. Let's find out. And then tomorrow morning, when the sun comes up and we need to hide, we reassess. Yes?
Another thing that I want you
Yes.
to try and figure out about her, get a vibe check on her. Is she a good person? Is she
care if she's a good
friends
That's what
person
with
or
Ignis
not.
her?
wants to know.
We could
Don't care if she's a person
we
or
could
not.
we could learn that after
We
we've
can take her
captured
down. We need to take her down and
Yeah.
show that we deserve to be captains.
But one thing to keep in mind, if she is allied with Harrigan, and we
Definitely
take this
kill her.
step to, step in, and I personally wouldn't feel so bad if she were removed from the situation. However, that is us saying, hey, Harrigan, we're here.
Let him come.
As long as we're ready for that.
If we're stronger, we'll survive. If we're not strong enough, then we didn't deserve to be captains in the first place. We deserve to be slaves under him again.
You know, the more we talk, the less good I feel about all of this.
Which is why, as you approach Tidewater Rock, you set forth with a plan to stealth in, whether that's through flight or whether it's all rock climbing. It's established not through the cove and not through the bay, but to circumvent it just slightly to start making your way up and into to get a pulse on what is happening at Tidewater Rock. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode of I Cast Fireball.
Now, eagle-eared listeners will note that Thomas did not call it a shaky plan.
Yes.
He just called
He
it
sure
a
didn't.
plan.
That's a plan.
He sure didn't. It is a plan.
It's a plan. It's a good plan.
As he's like looking,
a good
I
plan.
I
Okay,
can imagine him
okay.
like looking down at the thing where it's like anti-magic zone, just be like, good plan, guys.
Good plan.
He like
plan
for
sees
me.
the
Good
fortification. He's like, there's no way this plan's gonna work.
This plan that you have made is so good for me.
As tempted as I may be to just immediately start changing the architecture of the rock based off of your current plans, that's not fair to you. So I will not throw in any anti-magic fields that are not already written into there.
Oh,
So
that's not good.
Or any beholders with anti-magic cones
That
who
are
just
not
happen to already
written
be
into there was
Yeah.
the language.
Yeah, that was the words he used. Oh no!
well, what fun talking through the plan, getting through it, getting to Tidewater Rock.
Maybe we'll all be slaves again. And that's okay, I guess.
'Cause that's what we deserve.
Then we deserve it. We're not strong
Josh,
enough to stand on
Jacob.
our own. We don't deserve to be here.
Josh, Jacob, Mickey, and Ned, thank you so much for playing. And listeners, thank you so much for joining us. You are always so great to come back every week and listen to our episodes, and we just love it. And we wanted to shout you out because without you, we wouldn't exist as a podcast. Individually, we would always exist, but as a podcast. So thank you so much. If you want to if you want to get shouted out on here, you can shoot us an email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com or at icastfireball20. Speaking of shout outs, we've had a lot of people join our Patreon lately. We've had a couple people join our Patreon we want to shout out. We've got Oscar, we've got Colvin, we've got Kirsten. They are all members of our Discord now that they're all in there, and we're happy to have you all. Also, we wanted to shout out Micah, shot us an email. And they said that they've been a longtime listener of ICF, and it's helped them DM in their campaigns. And they've made a class based on the Stormlight Archives just for their homebrew campaign. Sent us the PDF. I haven't looked at it yet, but I am excited to look at it to see the mechanics that they built to try to recreate some of the stuff from Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives. So, Micah, thank you so much for shooting that email over to us in that PDF. Josh, did you want to say anything?
I was just going to say, you got to shout out the animatic from Just Evening.
Oh my gosh. Also, folks, look in the description. Look in the description of this episode. Because if you've made it this far, you like looking at all the bonus stuff, okay? And Just Evening made a video of season 1 to encapsulate season 1. It's fantastic. Go take a look at it. We freaked out on
full
Discord.
color
It's been-
animatic. It's insane of season 1.
It took them forever.
It was phenomenal. I got emotional. I watched it so many times. It was so cool to see it laid out like that, and what a perfect song to put into it.
Yeah,
Oh,
there will
man.
come a poet, and that poet is Just Evening.
Yes.
So Just Evening, shout out to you. Hardcore. Go look at the description here. Go give them some love. If they've got any social medias, go follow them as well. Yes, if you wanted to get shouted out, you can submit your fan-created content through our Discord or shooting us an email or at our Instagram there. And speaking of shout-out, we're going to shout out Improv Tabletop. Ned, they've got Fate Accelerated campaigns going again, and they are really fun. Really, really fun. And Ned, do you have the Christmas/December campaign already established or recorded?
Not at this point, but we are doing some more Sonic stuff. I don't know how, but Sonic the Hedgehog has managed to indelibly ingrain himself into the Improv Tabletop brand, and I cannot escape him. He is too fast. So we're doing more Sonic stuff. So if you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog and watching people suffer in a low-stakes kind of way, then come check that out.
Which is very on brand because Sonic 3 comes out in December, so just saying. Don't forget to leave them a like and a 5-star review on your way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have...
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon.
Maximus Shuns.
Ataraxia Kalian.
And Busta Bilgewater.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.